Hello beautiful people and welcome back to a new video. My name is Evelyn Barta and I'm back with a new channel message from God. If you hear something unusual on my voice, just to let you know that I got ill. I had like a few days that were terrible. Basically on Friday I had a little incident that was related to a pattern from my childhood, and immediately I had this physical reaction to it. Immediately I had this sore throat and it developed into a cold, like a common cold, I would say. However, I have been feeling really bad, really horrible. By the way, if you want to skip this intro, I will provide with the timestamps in the description box below, because I know that these intros can get a little bit long. I haven't had this common cold for many years, and it's really interesting because it is definitely related to a childhood thing, like a pattern that came up these days and resulted in this cold. And when I tuned into it energetically, I was asking, I was trying to find out what is the reason for that. Because I have been feeling terrible, sleeping a lot, feeling this horrible fatigue, runny nose, blocked nose, watery eyes. So when I tuned into the energy, what I heard was that it's self-protection, self-preservation. And then I understood immediately that many times when we get ill, we have a disease or we have a physical reaction to something, that is always psychological, and sometimes it happens because subconsciously we want to protect ourselves from harsh words from people or even from ourselves. So when you are in bed and you have no energy to do anything whatsoever, then you are being forced to take a step back from yourself, from your own thoughts, or from people. So it's interesting, and many children make themselves sick subconsciously in order to protect themselves or to make themselves heard by their parents. When I channeled the Galactic Federation in one of my videos, when they talk about this event that we need to get ready for, I believe that partially what they meant by being ready for whatever happens, spiritually or globally, part of it is this shadow aspect being integrated and working on that. And that means that certain things will be brought to light so we can recognize them, we can understand them, and we can deal with them. And it's not very pleasant many times, but it's okay. I got ill now for a reason. Yesterday I was feeling horrible. I wasn't able to open my eyes because my eyes were watering all the time and I just wanted to sleep. So I don't know how many hours I slept yesterday. Anyways, today I feel so much better. I have much more energy. I'm still not feeling 100%, but it's going to be fine, and everything happens for a reason, so I'm grateful for that because I'm already seeing why this happened. Okay, so this weekend, before the symptoms have showed up of this cold, I asked God about a topic that is very controversial nowadays, that is dividing many families, and it's a factor of stress. I got to spend some time in the nature this weekend, which was amazing, and I got to spend some time by myself, and I was like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to connect to source, and let's see if I receive any message. Tell me anything about this topic that I have been thinking about, and that is the injection. I will refer to it as the injection so I don't get censored. I will just share this with you because I want to be very straightforward, and I think it's super unfair that there's a lot of propaganda about this in the mainstream, and that is not fair because they are not showing both sides of the coin. They are just showing one side of the coin. So those people that are not very in tune with themselves and are not using their discernment, they are relying on outside sources and they get just one perspective of the whole situation. Obviously, many of these people are the elders that don't have access to the internet in order to be able to check other sources as well, apart from the mainstream media. So they don't see both sides of the coin, they don't see the truth, they just see one perspective. And the whole situation is presented in the mainstream in a way to portray those that don't want to take the injection being selfish, when they are the ones that are showing just one perspective. So people cannot decide for themselves what to do with their bodies, and especially those people that are relying on external sources. So I think it's super important to be straightforward about it And I want to be straightforward as well. I'm not going to talk about my personal opinion about this whole situation because I already have a video on that. If you want to check it, you can do that. I don't want to repeat myself. But what I didn't say anything about in that video was that, okay, I did not take the injection and I will not do that because it's kind of pointless for me. I have an immune system that works just perfectly. My mom, she didn't take it and she doesn't want to. She said it from the very beginning that she doesn't think that it's good for her to take, which is amazing because she's relying on her intuition. My father was having a different opinion on that. He took it. He has been thinking about that and he said that his intuition is telling him that it will be good for him to take it. So he took the first dose of the one which starts with M and ends with A. He was feeling horribly the next day. He was all night, all day in bed, and honestly, we thought that he's going to die. That was my thought. We didn't know what's going to happen, but he was really bad. Even like after 2 weeks, he was still not feeling 100% okay. All right, so now he changed his mind and he said he's not gonna take the second dose. Actually, I'm very grateful for that because this was a lesson for him not to rely on external sources and solutions when it comes to his health, and he understood that. So that was a great lesson. My brother and his wife, they took the one that starts with P and they were fine. So I'm not saying that everyone is going to feel horrible afterwards. I'm just presenting the facts. There are many people that don't want to take it, people that I know, and there are many people that want to take it or already took it. And I respect both decisions, but we need to know both sides of the coin. And also to know that if you took it, that doesn't mean that you're doomed forever. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is my previous video where I asked the Galactic Federation about a possible World War III apocalypse or anything that we should be worried about. And they said that there's nothing to be worried about and we need to focus on fifth dimensional thinking and love and our power and our trust in the divine and belief in ourselves. However, I just wanted to mention something that came into my mind when I was outside in the nature. I just started to remember that since 2020, I have been having this intuitive knowing feeling. I don't know how to describe it. And whenever I receive these intuitive messages and signs, they always come in forms of thoughts. So I keep thinking about them. And I receive synchronicities as well. So I come across the same thing over and over again. And what I have been thinking about since last year was to buy a land. So seeing myself in the future, living close to the nature, and basically not relying on the grid, but relying on nature. The second thing that I kept thinking about since January this year was in regards to electricity. I started to think about it because there was something in my apartment in January. Basically, the lights in the flat started to flash one day. There was something going on with the electricity in Europe at that time because I remember when I told my brother about it, he said the same thing that happened at his workplace, and he works in IT, so there were lots of problems, technical problems with computers, so on. Because of that, there was like a little disruption, and apparently there was something going on in Europe that triggered this incident. I took this as a sign, and since that day, I started to think about what if we didn't have electricity? Because the first thing that came into my mind, what if we don't have internet? That would affect the whole world. But that's a thing. But what if we don't have electricity? That would be a big challenge. I was playing with the thought a little bit. That would really put us in a position to have to restructure this whole society. Remember that this awakening process always requires a catalyst. And that happened last year as well. But a catalyst like not having electricity, for example, that would really bring communities together. And it would be our choice to start cooperating with each other or start robbing each other, because that would restructure the whole society and we would have to go back to this primitive living, off grid and having to exchange our resources. Like, for example, I have milk because I have cows, you have vegetables. So let's exchange these resources. So we are both fine and we can both not only survive, but we can flourish when we cooperate with each other. That would be a huge catalyst for us starting to cooperate together. This was just one thought. Obviously, that would be a very complex problem as well. But it's also a question of perception, how we perceive it, as a problem or as an opportunity for evolution. I'm not saying that this will happen, but there is a possibility for that. That would bring us definitely closer as well to nature. So it doesn't mean that we have to be afraid, because we can flourish and we don't need to survive. We can flourish, but that is up to us always. And we don't have to get into negative agendas and speculations. However, being close to the nature is always a good idea. Sorry about the long story, enough of stories for now. And sorry about the long intro, but I had so many things to say and so many things to share. So as I said, I did ask God about the injection, and I wanted to get his perspective on it. I refer to him as him, but he doesn't really have a gender, so it's just, it's a habit to refer to God as him. When I was in the nature and I was channeling him, there was such an intense energy again, and I felt it in my heart space, and it made me so emotional. It was so intense, and I think it's beautiful. The messages are sometimes, especially in the beginning, they are a little bit abstract, but then I hope it will make sense for all of you. So, channeled message about the wax. I was asking, what can you say about the wax? And he said, its purpose is to believe that your inner guidance is trustworthy. The population of such impact will lead the way to those that are not sure about what they are doing, that are not sure about their purposes being clear and sound, that are not sure what they believe in has a structure and an outstanding importance. This is what you call the belief of the century and the division in the society of all those souls who have been through the process of self-evolution and recovery. So not interested in what is the purpose of all that is, trying to find out the revolution of the souls, of the essence of all, through all that is. Lead by example, and the structures of the society will set themselves out, same as the replenishment of all souls, all of the essence of what which you call the awakening. Plenty of hearts are opening and are waiting to be found. The wax is the evolution expression of the soul that will choose to walk its own path, that will choose that the outside world is not something that is needed for it, but the lonely journey inside of itself. It is lonely, child, but what you are finding there you cannot find anywhere in the world, is the most precious gift and treasure. You are not to decide for anyone. You are not to tell anyone what is their path and what is the right path for them. Their evolution requires this choice and this journey into the unknown. Their evolution is craving this, and there's nothing you can do about it. It is not your job to get into that job that will fail from the beginning for you. Trust that your choices are the best you can take for yourself, and the rest is each soul's purpose, journey, and evolution. Whatever we are saying now, many of you already know. Your intuition will lead you toward what is the best for your bodies. Each body works differently and has a different reaction. So it's not for you to decide what is the reaction of each of the souls and each of the vessels. Let them walk their path and let them journey in. Don't do to others what you are not wanting for yourself. Keep that in mind, child, and walk your path. It's a unique one. And the gifts that are for you are waiting for you all along the way of this exciting and beautiful journey of life. Your families might be against your choices, and you might be against their choices. It is all contracted with each other. You can overcome everything by putting yourself in their shoes, by deciding for yourself what is the best for you, not what's the best for them. How can you get to the hearts of others when your hearts are closed? To the truth of yourself. That is your job, to open your own heart. That is what you can do for them, for all the loved ones and humanity itself. Honor your own journey, and people around you will honor you as well. The vibrational frequency that you will radiate out from yourself will call forward others that will hold you in great respect. And then I was asking God, what about those souls that are passing away from the injection or from the virus? And then he said, if those souls have chosen to exit at this time, be in their hearts, connect to their hearts, there's nothing else you can do for their soul's evolution to be changed or altered. Think about your own journey and what you set for yourself. We know that is hard. We know that is not pleasant and enjoyable. But the pleasures of life are waiting for you. Gaia is there, nature is there, and all the beautiful things that you can ever experience. Focus on those things, and all the lost souls will follow. You have to lead by example. Yes, you don't want to lose your loved ones. You don't want them to go down the road that is not in their best interest. But what you consider their best interest might not be that. Their best interest is set by their souls before their incarnation. And you know that, child, because that's the same with you. I love you. Please keep that in your heart and hold it tight. That's something you can always connect to and will never leave you, no matter what is going on around you. Your open heart will always serve you. I will always do, because I'm there. Peace with you all, and remember that God's love always extends to the most hidden places that are covered by shadow as well. It's always there with no beginning and no end. Beautiful message as always from Source, from God. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think he said it all. We need this. We need to know this, that there's nothing we can do about other souls' decisions, and we have to respect those decisions. And whatever decisions you are taking, it has to come from here always, because there is where he is. There is the answer. So thank you everyone for watching. I need to finish this recording. I need to take a nap. I think I'm not 100% okay. And if this message has resonated with you, then please share it with people that are also needing this or are interested about this. And obviously people that can resonate with it, because there's no point just forcing material on people. Also feel free to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, because I will be back with more channel messages. And thank you everyone for your support. I'm appreciating a lot that you are here, that you are watching my videos. And I wish you an amazing week, amazing day, and I will see you in my next video.